Welcome to That Money Show. I'm your host, Milton Lawrence. On today's episode, we're going to look at usury and the practice of predatory lending, as well as the season of we lend, you spend climate that in today's society that keeps many of us in debt.
It's just to help you out. Talk about profit, gang.
Welcome back. Let's take a closer look at usury and the usurious interest rates that many lenders of money or credit charge us as they suck the lifeblood out of our financial bodies. I'll say this over and over, and that is that words make people. The word usury sounds like using me. And believe me, brother, when you're preyed upon by these financial institutions, it's like the old Bill Withers song, keep on using me until you use me up. The definition of usury is the practice of lending money and charging the borrower interest, especially at an exorbitant or legally high rate. Need I say more? But I will. You see, usury laws differ from state to state, allowing many of these predators to skate around the law. And how, you ask? Say you live in California, but the lender is based in Omaha, and California's laws cap the amount a business or financial institution can charge. Well, it's not the state you live in, but where the loan is originated that determines the amount they can charge you. Until this loophole is closed, these predators will continue to eat us for lunch. This is no more than legalized loan sharking. Take payday loans, for example. They market their services as a way to help consumers, you and me, pay our bills until we get our paychecks. But their real aim is to trap you in a never-ending cycle of debt by refinancing one loan on top of the other until you feel like that hamster on that continuous wheel that goes nowhere. The fees on these loans can be as high as 300 to 1,000%. Not very smart on our part. Time to take a stand. Now, the chief causes of the mortgage meltdown was not in God we trust, but in greed we trust. And the tool was predatory lending, for which Countrywide is now owned by Bank of America, was a major player. Let's go back to wordplay. Let's look at the word predator and predatory lending. Definition of a predator is an organism that lives by preying on other organisms. Probably never considered yourself the main dish on these money cannibals' plate. How's that as food for thought? No pun intended. These predators seek their prey from the elderly, the sick, the weak, and of course, the desperate. The mortgage industry, these loans were called subprime mortgages or loans, and they're packed with all kinds of hidden excessive fees. The sad part about it, though, is that 50% of those people could have qualified for prime loans. But were they told that? Hell no. That's the real don't ask, don't tell. Predatory lenders add insurance and other unnecessary products and fees to the loan. Why? Because they can. The very government that is here to protect us allows these maggots to hurt us. Until these laws and loopholes are closed, we're going to be their victims. Deceptive business practices. You and I both are aware and knowledgeable of it now. We have to be aware of these money minefields that are set to blow our financial stability apart. The very word predatory lending is defined as unfair or deceptive or fraudulent business practices. Sound like anyone you know? What's the old saying, if the shoe fits, wear it? Let me tell you a story that relates to these maggots. A young girl was trudging along a mountain path trying to reach her grandmother's house, and it was bitter cold, and the wind just cut like a knife. When she was within sight of her destination, she heard a rustle at her feet. Looking down, she saw a snake. She was frozen. She couldn't even move. The snake spoke to her. He said, "I'm about to die, and it's too cold for me up here, and I'm freezing. There's no food in these mountains, and I'm starving. Please put me under your coat and take me with you." "No," replied the girl. "I know your kind. You're a rattlesnake. If I pick you up, you'll bite me, and your bite is poisonous." "No, no," said the snake. "If you help me, you'll be my best friend. I'll treat you differently." The little girl sat down on a rock for a moment to rest and think things over. She looked at the beautiful markings on the snake and had to admit that it was the most beautiful snake she'd ever seen. Suddenly, she said, "I believe in you. I will save you. All living things deserve to be treated with kindness." The little girl reached over, put the snake gently under her coat, and proceeded towards her grandmother's house. Within a moment, she felt a sharp pain in her side. The snake had bitten her. "How could you do this to me?" she cried. "You promised that you would not bite me, and I trusted you." "You knew what I was when you picked me up," hissed the snake as he slithered away. Sound like those financial institutions, doesn't it? With your eyes open, you shouldn't fall in the pit, but instead walk around it. On the next episode, we're going to look at more car dealer tricks and traps and the snares they use to get you to sign on the dotted line. You can bet your last money being broke damn sure ain't funny. For the Money Show, we'll see you next time.
It's just to help you out. Talk about profit, gang.